Manandasya ginam gina shilakaya chakshuri militam jena tasmai sigurave namaha Shri Chaitanya manobhistam stapitam jena bhutale Swayam rupa gadamayam dadanti sva vadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Om Am Him Shrom Om Pat Om Tataka Hatika Keshika Jalat Padikalochana Bidharika Nakas Varsa Devasingha Namostate. So thank you very much for the reception. I know we're a little late. We were supposed to get here last night. But we had some problems on the way, which is not unexpected in this material world. Even when we made it all the way to Budapest, we also had problems because we couldn't find the temple. This just shows how we need direction all the way to the goal. You may make it almost there, but if you don't have perfect directions, then even you're just about there, you can't make it. Just like the Mayavadis, they can make it to the Brahman. The Brahman is much more elevated than this ordinary material existence. But because they don't have an ultimate understanding of what is the ultimate goal, Krishna consciousness, because they don't have directions from pure devotees of the Lord, they don't go to Krishna Loka. They stay in the Brahman for millions and millions and millions of years. And they try to remain desireless. But to desire is the nature of the soul. And if we're not desiring Krishna, then eventually we'll desire something material. So Prabhupada said when they reach that Brahman and they stay there for a very, very long time, then after some period of time, that material desire again comes up in the heart. And to fulfill those desires, they have to come back to the material world. So they're just this far away from Vaikuntha, but they have to come all the way back down to material existence. And Prabhupada said that is actually the most painful thing that a living entity can experience. We can think of so many painful experiences, both gross and subtle, within this material existence. But Prabhupada confirmed that the most painful thing is that one is situated in Brahman, but at one point, due to a reawakening of material desires, one has to come back down and be a gross karmi again. So this just shows that even on the spiritual path, especially on the spiritual path, we need direction all the way back home, back to Godhead. We were going in circles around Budapest. We were almost here, but we just were going in circles. So we did not know what to do. But then we were driving on one road, and lo and behold, we looked off to the side, and there was one of my disciples, Bhaktina Andrea, waiting at a bus stop. So we looked at her and we thought, oh, she can take us to the goal. Generally, She could take us to this material goal. This particular street and the house. Generally it's the spiritual master who directs us, but sometimes by the mercy of the Lord, the disciple can also encourage the spiritual master. So by her grace we reached the temple. But to get out of this darkness of material existence, we require the assistance of the spiritual master. Sometimes people think, why do I need a spiritual master? I'm very intelligent. I will go to God by my own intelligence. But even if you're the most intelligent person in this material world, still you're a fool. Because otherwise, what are you doing here? If you're so intelligent, what are you doing here? Does an intelligent person put himself into a situation where there's birth and death? Where there's old age and disease? Only a fool would go there. Let us say we go to a travel agency. And the travel agency has 2 posters on the wall. And one poster is offering a trip to Hawaii. Right? There's the sunshine and there's nice beaches and the water is warm and there's coconuts and everything. And the next picture, it's very dark and there's lightning and you see there's war going on there. People are dying and suffering. So he says, I can send you either place. Where do you want to go? So if you say, I want to go to that dark place where everyone is suffering. Crazy. Only a fool would choose such a destination. It's one thing if the government sends you there to fight in the army. But it's something else if you make a conscious decision. I want to go there and suffer. So Krishna did not send us to this material world. It was not the desire of the Lord that we came to this place. It was a conscious decision of our own. We became envious of Krishna. Now, Krishna is the big fish and I'm the little fish. I want to be the big fish. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that the moment we thought like that, the instant that that consciousness became manifest, we were propelled to the material world. To experience birth, death, old age, and disease. So we are not intelligent. We are all foolish. So therefore we need the superior intelligence of Guru and Krishna. Krishna is the original Guru. It's like we say, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. He's the Adipurusham, he's the original person. But he's also the Adi Guru. He's the original Guru. He's the source of all knowledge. So one who perfectly represents the Lord, he is qualified to act as spiritual master. By repeating the Lord's instructions with realization, he is qualified to be spiritual master. So such a person is qualified to take us out of this material existence. And we should all accept the direction of the spiritual master. And cling to his lotus feet, cling to his instructions, all the way back to the spiritual world. And even in the spiritual world. One time Prabhupada told one of our sannyasis, he said, when we return to the spiritual world, the spiritual master is present there to receive us. And he takes our hand and he takes us to Krishna and he puts our hand in Krishna's hands and introduces us. This is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there our spiritual master continues to be our spiritual master. Because in the spiritual world we are all servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So the spiritual master continues to teach us how to engage in service to the divine couples, Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So what to speak of requiring the help of the spiritual master in this material world? We require the help of the spiritual master in the spiritual world eternally. We are not like the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis, they accept the spiritual master more or less out of tradition or custom. Or out of necessity. They realize they are in ignorance. They want to become Brahman. They want to become God. So they accept a guru. And the guru teaches them to become God. And one day they become God. Why do they need guru? Does God need a guru? God is perfect. So actually, at one point, they give up their guru. When they become Brahman realized, thank you, guru, a little handshake, some dakshin, This is their position. Actually, Mayavadis are offensive from A to Z. They are offensive to God, they are offensive to Guru, they are offensive to all living entities. Lord Chaitanya has warned us not to associate with the Mayavadis. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastakor, Lavamatta Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastakor, to associate with devotees. So at one point they give up their guru. Prabhupada gave an example of this. One time he was walking in Mayapur, and they came to a little hill. They had to walk down a hill to get to the Ganges. So Prabhupada grabbed the arm of one of his sannyasi disciples, and he was using that disciple to get down to the Ganges. That disciple was feeling very privileged. Oh, Srila Prabhupada is taking my assistance to get to the bottom. Prabhupada is very kind. So they got to the bottom, and then all of a sudden, Srila Prabhupada took that arm of that sannyasi, just threw him to the side like that. So the sannyasi was shocked. Why has Prabhupada done this? He said, there must be some lesson Prabhupada is trying to teach us. So he came over and Prabhupada said, yes, he said, this is how the Mayavadis treat their guru. They take the help of their guru for some time, and then at one point when they become Brahman realized, they throw the guru away. It's like I have taken your help and then I have thrown you to the side. Well, it is not like that. It is not like that in Krishna consciousness. Janme Janme, Prabhu say, He is our Lord and Master, birth after birth. And knowing what fools we are, how we have entangled ourselves in this material existence, we listen to the instructions of the spiritual master with fixed attention. Because it's possible to deviate from this path at any moment. The one who is also always hearing very carefully the instructions of his spiritual master, he cannot fall. But it is possible to fall. So we always have to be hearing and remembering and serving the instructions of our spiritual master at every moment, and then we will not deviate. It's possible to fall. Just like Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya was born into a Brahmin family. And he became a great scholar, actually. One time the king's men came to his spiritual master's ashram. And they said, "Where is your guru?" And Yamunacharya said, "My guru, he is on some preaching program." He said, "The king wants to see him immediately." The great scholar, the Digvijaya Kolahara has come to town. Digvijaya scholar, the great scholar, Digvijaya? Kolahara. Kolahara has come to town. He is defeating everyone. So I want your guru to come and defeat him, because actually he is a rascal. So this little boy, Yamunacharya, he said, "My guru is not here. But I don't want him to be defamed, so I will come and I will debate with Kolahara." So the king's men, "You're just a little boy." Yasha deve para bhaktir yata tevi tata guru. I have great faith in the instructions of my spiritual master. I will simply repeat what he has told me, and surely I will defeat this Kolahara. So he went to the palace, and the Kolahara was there, and he was very puffed up. No one likes someone who is proud of his knowledge. So a debate took place between this little boy and Kolahara. So the boy he defeated, Yamunacharya defeated the great Kolahara. And as a result, the king, he gave him half his kingdom. So now the little boy, Brahmana boy, he became a king. But we know what kings are like. Lord Chaitanya, he refused to talk to a king. Because generally, not always, but generally kings, they have all facility for sense gratification. Whatever they want, they can have it. So what is the nature of sense gratification? Gradually become degraded. So Yamunacharya, although he was a great Brahmana boy, very intelligent, very pure, he became fallen. He became fallen. He became one of those kings who used to laugh in the, and make noises and drink wine, and where's the dancing women? Oh, oh, oh. The Brahmanas would remind him it's time to go to the temple to see God. What do I need to see God for? God should come to see me. Look how much money I have. He wants a donation. Come to me. He became deviated from the path. But his grandfather was merciful to him. Grandfather was on his deathbed. He said, yes, my grandson, Yamunacharya, he was such a nice bhakta, such a nice devotee. What happened? Not like the parents. The parents today, my son's daughter was such a good karmi, they've become a devotee, what's happened? Not like that, opposite. Join the Hare Krishna movement, what happened? What is God? Why is God so unkind to me? He's joined the Hare Krishna. Now he was lamenting that my son was such a good devotee, now he's become a karmi, what to do? So he called in his servant, Ram Mishra. Said, Ram Mishra, you must somehow deliver my grandson from illusion. Make him again a devotee of the Lord. Ah. So this was the desire. So Ram Mishra, he was intelligent. Brahmachari, he had clear intelligence. Brahmacharis, they just think of Hari Guru Vaishnava. They just think of God, the Guru, and serving the Vaishnava. There's no deviation there. So his mind, Brahmachari, very clear, very sharp. So he, how I can see the king? Even the ministers, they have to wait many months to see the king. I'm just a little sadhu who's going to even notice me. But he had intelligence. So what he devised this plan. He went to the kitchen of the king and he delivered this tunga, this very tasty spinach that you can only get in the forest. Just like we were driving from Poland, and on the road you see sometimes people are selling watermelons here, right? So everyone likes watermelon. And maybe it's hard to find, so these people are going to the trouble and they come, and because it's some rare, something special, you stop your car and you buy the watermelon from them. I was thinking like that, watermelon. There's no watermelons in Poland. There's just this cabbage they have. Kapushta. Okay. So to see a watermelon, wow, that reminded me when I was a boy in America. We used to eat lots of watermelons. Whoa, that's really good. So like that, the spinach, the special spinach, it grew in the forest. Actually, Lord Chaitanya, that was his favorite preparation. Hare Krishna. Jai. So we were just talking about Lord Chaitanya and then the curtain opened. So, Mahaprabhu, his favorite preparation was sak, vegetable, a greeny vegetable, like we call it spinach here. It's a little bitter. Vedic, and you eat in Vedic culture, you eat bitter food, and that increases your appetite. So you can eat more. There's no harm. If you're eating prasadam, you can eat, Prabhupada said, take to your full satisfaction. At 26th Avenue, Prabhupada was serving chapatis like this. And Brahmananda was eating like this. Sometimes 15, 16, 17 chapatis at one. Prabhupada was, oh, Hare Krishna, very good, very good. The spiritual master was pleased when he sees the disciples taking Bhagavad Prasadam. Because prasadam is non-different than Krishna. If we take it in that reverential attitude that it is Krishna's mercy, so much purification is there. Prabhupada said the Mayavadis, they're afraid to touch anything like a sweet because it's Maya. But Prabhupada said, we will go back to Godhead by eating rasgullas. It's a nice process. So anyway, this bitter sak, the Ram Mishra was collecting from the forest. He took it to the kitchen of the king. And the cook every day, he was, Sadhu is very auspicious. Sadhu is bringing this vintage, this very auspicious. So he's cooking this sak every day, and the king was enjoying. Yamunacharya. Of course, he likes to, satisfy his tongue. So yum 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 yum. So much spinach. This is the nature of conditioned soul. His pleasure, his main pleasure is through his tongue. He's eating, and then, so Rameshwar's plan was that one day he didn't bring the spinach. Actually, 3 days in a row he didn't bring the spinach. So the king is, where's my spinach? That's how we got the Beatles also. That is how we attracted the Beatles to Krishna consciousness. The first devotees arrived in London. Yamuna, Gurudas, Malati, Shyam Sundar, these devotees, they arrived in London and they wanted to attract the Beatles. Very hard to attract it. The Beatles were like gods, demigods in those days. So what they did is they made an apple pie. Because the Beatles record company was called Apple Records. And every day, Malati would take the pie to the Apple Records studios. But they wouldn't let her in because this was the Beatles studio. You couldn't, unless you were like God, you couldn't come in the Beatles studio. So she'd just leave the apple pie with a little note from Hare Krishna at the reception. Every day, for 3 months, every day she'd take an apple pie, just leave it, okay, Hare Krishna, for the Beatles. At the back of the card was the devotee's telephone number. So every day an apple pie with a little note from Hare Krishna, on the back was our telephone number. So one day the plan was they didn't make the apple pie. And suddenly there was a telephone call. Where's our apple pie? The secretary was saying, the Beatles want to know where their apple pie is. So, John and Ringo and George and Paul, they're all very upset. Where's our apple pie? Tesham satada yuktanam bhajatam. The Lord in the heart is giving us the intelligence how to go forward in Krishna consciousness. So Malati said, all right, we'll bring the pie, but we want to meet the Beatles. No problem. No problem. So Malati made the pie, and her husband, Shyam Sundar, they went together. And they just walked right in the studio. They didn't even stop at the secretary. They walked right up the stairs, and it said George Harrison. They walked in, put the pie down. There was George. Who are you? We're the ones who make the pie. Oh, nice to meet you. So that's That's how we got the Beatles. And George Harrison gave $10,000 for printing the first Krishna book. So that was Ram Mishra's plan, and the king, Jamunacharya, he didn't. I forgot what it was. The king, he was, "Where's my spinach? Where's my spinach?" So then the cook said, "One sadhu was bringing your spinach every day, and he has not brought the spinach." The king became angry. He said, "When that sadhu comes, you bring him. I want to speak to him immediately." So Ram Mishra came one day with some more spinach, and then the cook said, "The king is very angry at you. 3 days you haven't brought the spinach." He wants to see you immediately. So like the king became angry. He said, "When that sadhu comes, you bring him. I want to speak to him immediately." So Ram Mishra came one day with some more spinach, and then the cook said, "The king is very angry at you. 3 days you haven't brought the spinach." He wants to see you immediately. So like this, Ram Mishra, he got to see the king. Even great princes and princes and princesses, they couldn't see. But Ram Mishra, because he was sadhu, he had some brahmachari intelligence. There he was, standing before the king. And the king was accepting him as some important VIP person, very important person. So, please, sadhu, bring me my spinach every day, please. So then sadhu said, "I can give you something better than spinach." Sadhu has nothing. Sadhu, one characteristic of a sadhu is that he has very few possessions. Ishivasham idam sarvam yatkinjaya gatyam jagat tena taktena bunjitaha magidaha kashasvidnanam. He just takes what is absolutely necessary to keep his body and soul together. So especially in India, where the weather is like this most of the year, you don't need very much. So you generally see the sadhus, they have like gamsha, loincloth, a water pot, some japamala. Like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Mendicants. So some less intelligent, foolish person may think, this sadhu has nothing. But actually that sadhu has everything. Because he has Krishna. Krishna says, I'm not in Vaikuntha, I'm not in the heart of the yogi. I'm wherever my devotees are chanting my glories. So actually a devotee is Tirthapad. He's the embodiment of all holy places because he has captured Krishna within his heart. He loves Krishna so much and Krishna loves him so much, they're inseparable. So Krishna is in the heart of his devotee. So we should not think, oh, this sadhu has nothing. The sadhu has everything. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was praying to his Guru Maharaj, I'm simply running behind you. Krishna, Krishna. You can give him, you have the power to give him to me. So there, Krishna is yours, you have the power to give him to me. So Ram Mishra was saying, I can give you more than spinach. But Yamunacharya, he didn't understand. It didn't register in his brain. You can give me more than spinach. What, you can give me rasgullas? What, you can... But he was so covered. He was so much engaged in sense gratification. He couldn't understand this statement by Ram Mishra. So Ram Mishra had to keep speaking. He said, actually I have a treasure for you. Your grandfather has died and he has left you a very valuable treasure. And I can take you to that treasure. So immediately, treasure, money, gold, jewels, yum, yum, yum. So let us go immediately. So we will go immediately. So Ram Mishra said, well, yes, but it is guarded by a great snake and special mantras. And you cannot go like a king. You have to go incognito. You have to go dressed like me. You give up this kingly dress. You have your old clothes from when you were brahmachari, you remember? Oh yeah, brahmachari ashram. Yeah, I remember living in the brahmachari. Yuck. Had to wait in line for prasadam, wait for the shower. Oh, it was crowded in there. Distribute books all day in a Sankirtan van. Yeah, so you put those old clothes on, then we will go. The king gave up his kingly dress and put on his old clothes, his dhoti and kurta, bas, finished, that's all. And they began walking through the jungle. That was very far. They were actually going to Sri Rangam. So they went and they stopped several nights, and during the night time, Ram Mishra, he would take out Bhagavad Gita. Sarvadharmam parityajya mamekam sadanam vraja aham dham sarvapapebhyo moksisi ma sucha. He would chant these verses with so much devotion and love for Krishna. So the king, he heard like this, he heard this chanting from the lips of a pure devotee. Prabhupada, chanting Hare Krishna is always beneficial. But it's especially potent when it's heard from the lips of a pure devotee. Just like everywhere you have this Rama butter. So you would think everyone's chanting Rama, 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 Rama every day, but we have to hear about Ram from devotees, Ram bhaktas. So he was hearing like this, the Bhagavad Gita spoken from this great devotee Ram Mishra, and his heart began to melt. Oh, he said, I used to also sing like that when I was a boy. I remember when I was a boy, I used to sing those verses. Chaitasa savakamani mai sanyasya matmara buddhi yoga vabhashita majita satatam bhavam. Yes, please, more. Sing some more Bhagavad Gita. So like that, he became a devotee again. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. It is by the association of devotees who can give us Krishna through this oral reception that our love for God is awoken. So he became a devotee. And then Ram Mishra, he took them to the temple and he saw the beautiful deity of Ranganath, very beautiful. Lakshmi Devi is there massaging his feet. Sheshanag, and his eyes are jewels, and he said, this is the treasure. So then Jamunacharya, he said, when I think of how I was enjoying in this material world, he said, I simply, now that I'm enjoying ever new realizations of Krishna, when I think about how I was enjoying this material existence, my lips curl in distaste and I spit at the thought. So this is a famous story of how a devotee deviated, but by the mercy of his spiritual master, he was saved. So we should pray that we never deviate, because so much time was lost. How much more mercy he could have got from his Guru Maharaj had he stayed fixed on the path of devotional service his entire life. So we require the help of the spiritual master from the beginning, and we won't say the end, because there's no end. Brahmanda Brahmati Kaun Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad Bhai Bhakti Lata Beach. That we are wandering in this darkness of material existence. Somehow or other, by the mercy of Krishna, we get our spiritual master. And by the mercy of the Lord, that relationship is eternal. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. So they have this European Woodstock, it's called. Euro Woodstock, it's coming up. We have lots of plans. We distribute billions of plates of prasadam and chant millions of Hare Krishnas and deliver thousands of lost fallen souls to the lotus feet of Gaurnitai. We have a plan of attack. We have a battle plan. Okay. So you're right. We have a battle plan. Our battle plan. We take out our weapons. Sweet balls. Samosas. Sadhus. And our machine gun. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. We'll win the battle. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Gaur Nitai ki, Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Deva ki, Gaur Premanandi.